this is Bob Oechsler.
This is Bob Inman.
Yes, thank you very much for returning my call.
You're most welcome.
Do you remember who I am?
Unfortunately, I do not. I apologize.
Okay, well, we met at the University of Science, University of Maryland Science and Technology.
I do pull out now. Thank you.
I wanted to, for one thing, on behalf of myself, I was looking for some guidance that I hoped you might be able to afford me
Okay.
in giving me some kind of direction in how I can assist in this project. I've been spending a great deal of time researching the phenomenon, and technologically I think I might have some very interesting things to offer.
Huh.
Probably not nearly as much as it was, what you probably already know, but I certainly would like to get some guidance in a number of different areas. It's probably a situation where I would like to at some point get together with you and get an overview of what direction I might take in, which I might be able to help in. On behalf of Admiral Lord Hill Norton and Mr. Good, the best I can do there is I have no idea what the level of security crossing countries happens to be, and I really don't want to get too much involved in that end of it. I'll leave that to your discretion.
What is Peter Hill Norton doing now?
What is he doing right now?
Yeah.
As far as I know, he is working in the background of things. He has worked extensively with Timothy Good in a publication he has put out, Above Top Secret, which you may or may not be aware of, out by William Morrow out of New York.
I am not aware of it.
Okay, in any case, he is working. They are more or less working together. Timothy Good as a consultant. Admiral Lord Hill Norton is, as the way he's expressed it to me, quite furious with his inability to gain knowledge on the issues.
And he, in fact, sent Timothy Good here on a tour, hoping to find out more information. There was a conference in Las Vegas at the end of June, the first couple of days of July, where he had hoped to pick up some contact information. And I had suggested to him the only individual I knew that possibly would be able to help him if it was indeed possible to gain any information across country boundaries would be through you. And I suggested that that contact be made.
Well, what is the general area of interest?
Two things. One, it is my feeling from my research that there's a dichotomy of sorts, one in which there seems to be an indoctrination program to educate the public to the realities that are involved here. The other must be a problem relating to security measures and need-to-know level. I have the ability to control the influence and understanding and acceptability of a great mass of the public. I have a nationwide radio broadcast, regular radio broadcast on the subject matter. I am well written amongst all the publications. I am connected with all of the major organizations. I've investigated, I spent 18 months investigating, including field investigations involving the Gulf Breeze situation. I know all the internals on that, and I have focused a great deal on the technological end of the technologies, and I've studied a great deal of the things that have been going along in the Chesapeake Bay in connection with the Electromagnetic Continuity Analysis Center and with the EMP projects.
All of those are areas in which I am vastly out of date. When I made the decision to retire 7 years ago, I made a conscious decision to sever ongoing ties with the U.S. intelligence community. I have had some exposure on limited occasions to some areas of activity over the succeeding 7 years, when I did the embassy security survey as a consultant to the Defense Science Board. But overwhelmingly, my efforts in these 7 years have been focused on industrial competitiveness,
Right.
on the application of science and technology in the commercial world.
I'm aware of that.
So for many of the things, at least as I sort of infer from the conversation of the interest of Mr. Good and Peter Hill Norton, there are areas where, while I had some expertise, it's now 7 years old.
I see.
And the pace at which things move in that field, the odds of my being accurate are increasingly remote in understanding those things.
Is it your understanding that there is a cultural dialogue going on today?
Well, I guess I have to ask with whom? Between what parties?
Well, between any of the parties that presumably are behind the technology and the crafts.
I honestly don't know. Have no exposure at all. So I haven't a clue whether there are any ongoing dialogues or not. I'm trying to think who there in the Washington area that is at least much closer to the issues might be able to at least give you some guidance.
And that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to step on any toes. I think I have some things to offer, and I would like to participate. And to be frank with you, you are essentially the only one I would feel safe in getting guidance from at this point, based on the more I know, the more concerned I become with how I should handle what I know.
The Deputy Director for Science and Technology at CIA is named Everett Heinemann. He is, in fact, getting ready to retire in the very near future. That may make him somewhat more willing to have dialogues than he otherwise would have had. When I knew him in the period 7 to 10 years ago, he was a person of very substantial integrity and just good common sense. So, as a place to start, he would clearly be high on the list. In the retired community of those who nonetheless were exposed to the intelligence business and stayed reasonably close to it, there is a retired Rear Admiral, a former director of naval intelligence named Sumner Shapiro, who has been a vice president of BDM. I think he just retired.
BDM?
BDM. It's a corporation there in the McLean area. His level of competence, again, is very high. His integrity is very high. Whether he has any knowledge in the areas you are working on, I don't have a clue, because I don't have any ongoing dialogue with him. But those are at least two thoughts for you that are there in the area where you are located and who have a prospect of still having some currency. I don't know that they do. In my case, I don't have any.
Do you anticipate that any of the recovered vehicles would ever become available for technological research outside of the military circles?
Again, I honestly don't know. 10 years ago, the answer would have been no.
Yeah.
Whether as time has evolved, they're beginning to become more open on it, is a possibility. Again, Mr. Heinemann probably would be the best person to put that kind of question to.
Okay.
Well, good luck to you.
Okay, and also Louis Cabot has become quite interested in some of my findings.
Good.
So you may hear from him.
Okay, he's a good man.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you for calling.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
A short time later, Bob Oechsler received this call.
Mr. Oechsler, this is Tom King in Admiral Inman's office. Yes, you would be breaching competence and or violation of the secrecy laws in discussing his involvement in the matter. That you not quote him or use his name in any manner without his prior approval.
He knew from an official standpoint that these vehicles, these objects existed, that they were in U.S. military custody, and that there were scientific projects associated with those. I believe it is the first revelation by anyone in a high enough level capacity within the U.S. government, especially within the intelligence community, to in effect acknowledge that we are indeed involved, that UFOs are real, that they were developed by non-human intelligence, and that somehow or another we have acquired possession of that technology.
Inman does not say much. There is no reference, there's no mention of UFOs, spacecraft, anything like that. The conversation centers on recovered vehicles, technology, and so forth. But Admiral Inman was aware of the subject matter, and we know from his executive assistant, Tom King, that there was to be no public discussion of these matters, the matters that had been discussed between Oechsler and Inman, because of national secrecy laws.
We called Admiral Inman to find out what he knows about Area 51 and why his company is developing this gravity propulsion system.
Let me get right to the point that you're after.
Yep.
I had occasion in several different jobs to ask the question, was there any credible evidence? When I was the vice director at the Defense Intelligence Agency, the National Security Agency, the Central Intelligence Agency, I inquired at each of the three places at different times, do you have any credible evidence that would support the existence of UFO or, aliens?
Yep.
And the answer was always no.
Janes wrote an article in which it mentioned Science Applications International, and it referred to some of the development it was working on as the ultimate quantum leap, exotic, shall we say, gravity propulsion systems. What exactly are those, and what are they used for flying craft?
I'm pausing because I want to make sure I don't overstate the case.
Right.
We're on a little sensitive ground here. There have been, over the years, I thought some of the early allegations of activity out in Nevada 15 years ago could well have been reflection of the prototype testing of some of the stealth vehicles. Some are clearly scientific phenomena. Some of it, again, will be something as simple as weather balloons.
Right.
That break loose, that get lost and go drifting. But there probably is some of it that is directly related to testing of late 20th century, early 21st century military technology related partly to reconnaissance in some cases and others to, attack aircraft.
One of the problems I've had with people who are true believers in UFOs is that they take out of context or misinterpret what I've said. Never once did I find any evidence inside the U.S. intelligence community that would validate, that would make certain that, in fact, not only had there been alien craft, but somehow the U.S. had accessed them. But is there possibility that there is some form of life out in space? That's what we're still pursuing and trying to find out.